felt like I was going through pregnancy wrong the whole time. I wasn't feeling what people thought I should be feeling. They kept asking me if I was excited, and I kept being like, yes, no. Like, I'm terrified. I was honest with, I was like, I feel like it's a nightmare now, and I'm just gonna wake up to a nightmare later. It's gonna be so hard. Like, I'm just like, wanted to be just excited, but how could I be excited when I knew it was going to be a challenge then, like after the baby's born, and like people are telling you how little sleep you're going to get, and all their horror stories, and then you're already experiencing your own horror stories currently, and it's like, how is it going to be better? How can I be excited if it's not ever going to get better? And I knew there's positives too, I just couldn't fathom them, unfortunately. Like, people are like, oh, but when you see your child for the first time and you're gonna feel blah blah blah, and I'm like, I sure as hell hope so, but I don't know. I'm like, maybe I'm not a normal person. Like, maybe I won't feel what I'm supposed to feel. You know, just fears. When I was first pregnant, I had so many fears about being a parent. And that's like all I could see, and I needed to work through those fears. I would just talk about them, and I didn't really feel like I was working through anything. But I think sometimes just sharing them, processing them, getting them out, and not allowing them to be suppressed is all you need. And so I would talk to James about it, and for some people they feel like talking about that stuff is just like, gives life to it. And while I think that can be true sometimes, I think when it comes to like healing, you need to talk about stuff. And that needs to take place. Otherwise, your fears are secretly running the show, whether you acknowledge them or not. And so bit by bit, I was less worried about being a parent. I needed to work through my fears first, and unfortunately that took the whole pregnancy, but it was the right amount of time. My main point was this: you go through pregnancy thinking that it's painful, uncomfortable, and different than you ever expected, and you feel bad about it. You feel like you should feel different things, but you don't, and that's really shitty. And then at the end of it, you realize you were feeling everything you were supposed to be feeling for you. And if you didn't go through what you went through, you wouldn't become what you needed to become. And I needed to acknowledge all of these negative things. I needed to acknowledge my pain. I needed to work through it. I needed to heal. I needed to allow myself to be transformed, and that meant bringing things to light that were not pleasant. That meant owning everything I felt, even though most of it was not pleasant. And I was so distracted by my pain that I didn't know what God was doing. And I think God was changing me in my heart, and changing my heart towards being a parent, and turning me into a mother. And I was just experiencing the growing pains of becoming someone new, because it meant I had to let go of my individualism and my doing everything on my own. I'm gonna have to take care of someone else. It's a burden, but it's like a beautiful burden, and it's one I took on willingly. I knew that I had to say yes, and I said yes to motherhood, and I got everything in my life in order to make that happen. First mentally, and then making it happen in Bali, and then 9 months of uncomfortable pregnancy and dealing with actual, this is happening. I gotta actually put my fears to bed, or the main ones. So I'm not parenting out of fear. And that was the transformation that needed to take place. And somehow through the process and through the pain, it was like the pain is how I was changed. it, imagine you're the soil and you're getting raked with like, I compare to gardening, but you're getting like scraped across. It's not a comfortable process, but then in the end you're tilled and you're ready to give life and to grow things. And that's what pregnancy was like. I did not enjoy that I had to become something else than I was. I liked being what I was, but I guess I was in so much agony too, because I was mourning the death of who I was before. And I'm glad I at least did that before the baby came, because a lot of people contend with that after the baby comes and they go through postpartum depression. Not that I'm not going to go through that, but I think I'm less likely to, because I tend to preemptively process things. Healing and transformation, the process of it is painful. It's not an easy process, and that can make you think that it's something else entirely. But pain isn't a bad thing when it's for something greater. It's actually a very beautiful thing, and you just have to see it for what it truly is and not for just pain itself. And that's where I had been distracted, so I didn't see it for anything but pain. And now I see it as like pain for a purpose, pain that came from like letting the negative perceptions and fears and all of these things curl back and die, and giving room for a more altruistic perspective of being a parent. That being a parent entails, if you are going to be a good one,